was a play that we had, in this week in the red zone. And it's crazy. Friday we actually ran it, and I caught the same pass. So we got the same look that we had that we thought we was gonna get. And in my mind, I just had to kind of get on the other side of that linebacker there, and just be ready for the ball. And Jaden delivered a great pass, and I was able to make the play.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Sideline Report. I'm Marvin Jackson, and that was Jamison Crowder, who scored the winning touchdown on Sunday against the Eagles. Washington upsetting Philadelphia and snapping the Eagles' 10-game win streak. Today, to talk about that are Lou Holder and Donna Hopkins. And Donna and Lou, we were there. It was an exciting time for Washington fans, for the whole entire Washington organization. Donna, what was it like for you?
Hey, that was huge, Marvin. I'm talking about the way that they just pulled out that win. You didn't know what way it's going to be, what way it was going to go. It was like backwards and forward boxing match. I told someone that it was like Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier going up against each other and seeing who was going to come out with the knockout punch. And the Commanders probably surprised a lot of people with the way they came out and won that game. I mean, to get down 14 points to start the game, it was ugly the way it started. And the Commanders looked like that, they were going to get blown out of this game. And then the second half, they regrouped, and even down the stretch, anytime you turn over the ball 5 times, but then you have 5 touchdowns, and 2 fumbles by Brian Robinson is just uncharacteristic by him. But I think that I was most excited about just how they hung in there and pulled this game out. I think it was a game that tells you a lot about this Commanders team. And it was an important game going down the stretch to play that type of game against Philadelphia. And I don't want to hear anybody talking about Hurts not being in there to play, because they were going up against the number 1 defense overall, and then the number 1 defense against the pass. So I don't want to hear nobody crying about who wasn't there.
Lou?
Yeah, I mean, all those close games that they had against big name teams like the Steelers, and first time with the Philadelphia, and even at the Dallas Cowboy game, I mean, all that prepared them for what we saw. This team will always be in it. Always be in it. And that has to do with a lot of the leadership that they have. Bobby Wagner won't let them be defeated. Zach Ertz won't let them be defeated. It's that culture change. I mean, this team, you really can say that, it's not over until it's over with this team. I mean, we have witnessed it 3 times now in that stadium. We have witnessed it. We witnessed it with the Giants game, Jaden Daniels coming down and doing what he had to do to get that game-winning field goal. We witnessed it, with the Hail Mary in the Chicago game. We witnessed it, flashes along the way. But this was they needed that. They needed that big time, and because that was the narrative. The narrative is they hadn't beat a playoff caliber team. Well, you can't say that anymore, right? And this team can win. I mean, like Donna said, you put up that many points, that many yards on a defense that was number 1, and a lot of that through the air. Washington, and they if the football gods and Santa Claus is all up in there, then we get that rubber match in a couple of weeks, in the first round of the playoffs when 2 versus 7. We would love that, because I just think that this team, they don't have any fear. They don't have any fear. Their head coach doesn't fear anything. They don't fear anything. That rookie quarterback definitely doesn't fear anything. And, that was this Vic Fangio defense that was supposed to be so well-touted. They shredded them. They shredded them with 5 turnovers. They shredded them. So I just love it. I just love the way that the NFL has put these divisional matchups near the end of the year. It's just so good to see meaningful football, and that was a game that they had to have. It was really good football. It was ugly football, but that's the NFC East. It's always been that way. It's always been that way.
All right, Washington, just a truly great team effort. and a great time. It's holiday season and the team is together. But we can't forget that Jaden Daniels is not playing like a rookie. I mean, this guy threw for 258 yards, but he had 2 picks. But it seems like he's like one of those great baseball players that can strike out and then come back up the next time and hit a home run. He's that kind of star. And he really led the Commanders in rushing even. Let's talk about this game. What makes him like that? I've heard that he's been like that, even in college.
Yeah,
Donna?
he's pretty special. I mean, he has even his teammates in awe. I mean, when they talk about him, you could just see that he blows their minds. And Bobby Wetner said something. He said that they're used to what he's doing because they're seeing him in practice all the time, and everybody else is getting an opportunity. But even with some of the plays that he makes, and you're on the sideline watching his teammates, they're in awe. They're saying, wow. And even Olamide Zaccheaus talked about that this is not a rookie that's playing. But the thing too, I want to kind of like harp on even more so is that last week, and when Noah Brown went down, and then the receiving group had a hard time except Terry, they said, who's the next people going to step up? Well, Olamide Zaccheaus and Jamison Crowder stepped up big because both of them had touchdowns. But Jamison Crowder, I talked to him over the stretch of his injury when he was out and hoping to get back in. And he said it was tough to just be on the sideline, but he was just working himself way back up. And so for him to come out and have a big game, a veteran leader like that, to get the winning touchdown, those two guys stepped up big to help Jaden out. But again, what can you say about Jaden? He just keeps surprising you over and over, again, with his skill set. He's playing like a veteran quarterback, like a Patrick Mahomes, like a Josh Allen. Those guys has been in the league a long time. This is something that you just don't throw out there, but this is just a great quarterback in the making. He's already, like I said, surprised everybody, and I'm in awe every time I see him go out on the field.
And with 5 turnovers. I mean,
5 turnovers.
That's amazing. Lou?
Yeah, I just feel that this is the complete package that we were looking for. We actually were looking for it with Robert Griffin III, but it just never panned out, because Robert Griffin III was a track star playing quarterback. This is an actual quarterback. And he is showing all the tools, was really disappointed in the run game with the Washington Commanders, knowing that they needed that. But then again, you think about it, Marvin and Donna, part of that run game is Jaden Daniels. It's not just Brian Robinson. It's not just McNichols. It's not just Rodriguez. It's not Eckler when Eckler was in there. The threat of him running and the strategic times that he runs kind of adds to that running game. And it's cold. It's December. You're supposed to be able to run the football, but then he had 5 touchdown passes. I mean, what can't this guy do, right? But again, me and Donna are big on this. Every time that Jaden does well and things are spread around, you got to give credit to Cliff Kingsbury and what he was able to do. I will always harp on the coordinators and say, hey, look, they're the ones who have all this talent now. How are they using the chess piece, right? I got to give credit to Cliff Kingsbury for what he did with Jaden Daniels, getting all the players that Donna just said involved. And then I got to give it up to Joe Witt. I mean, Saquon Barkley only rushed for 27 yards in the second half. I mean, they made the corrections at halftime, and this juggernaut of an offensive line, again, the trenches, the big uglies, the line of scrimmage is where you had to control that game. And in the second half, you got to say that defense controlled that line of scrimmage because Saquon Barkley, 27 yards after what he had in the first half, I got to give it up to the coordinators. They had B plus games for me, B plus A games for me. I mean, it was ugly, but that's the NFC East. But at the end of the day, they had a chance to be in it. And I give a lot of that to the coordinators as well.
Yeah, I think that I heard one of the players say that they recognized that when Hurts went down, Pickett, I mean, what's his name?
Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, he could not beat them with his arm. So they knew that if they stopped the run, they had him. And they really, I mean, that's one of the best defensive efforts I've seen against Baltimore.
In the second half.
Yeah, in
It
the
was,
second half. That second half, I think he got 27 yards in the second half.
And the adjustments they made. But can I just point out one run against Jayden Daniels? The long run on 4th and 11 when it was crucial where he had to have the first down, and he just made everybody miss. You know, what can you say about this guy, the way he just took off there? And I was like, oh my gosh, look, he's running like a running back. That was huge for the Commanders at that point because they went on, I think, to score a touchdown.
Yeah, that was that 4th and 11, and he gained about 40 yards or something like that. I mean, truly amazing.
Once you get into November, December, it's all playoff games. I mean, you're in a situation now where there's little room for error, so all of them count, all of them matter. So we knew coming into this. I mean, we've known since the beginning of November that like this last stretch is going to be the most pivotal.
Now let's talk about this big Washington game against Atlanta. Primetime game, Sunday night, the Sunday night football game right here in Northwest Stadium. The Atlanta Falcons had a pretty good game, and they have gone to their rookie quarterback, Michael Penix. Michael Penix had a so-so game, but he's a rookie. It's his first start. And he was the 8th player picked in the draft this past year. So high expectations for him. But of course, Cousins was the quarterback until he started to falter here at the end of the season, which we kind of knew that was going to happen. But it was a matter of when were they going to put Penix in the game. Now, Atlanta is strong, though. They have a great running back. Bijan Robinson, he had a great game. And one of their top linebackers had a pick 6, Matthew Judon. So how does Washington play this Atlanta team? It's going to be interesting because Atlanta really needs to win. You know,
hey, Washington needs to win too.
Yeah. So they picked a great one for Sunday night, right?
Oh yeah, both teams are jarring to try to get into the playoffs. Washington win, they're in. I mean, this is going to be an interesting game now. Like you said, Michael Penix versus Jayden Daniels, 2 rookie quarterbacks. No Kirk Cousins because he struggled this year coming off of that injury. But this is going to be a huge game for the Commanders. I think the better team is Commanders still if they play their type of ball. I think Frankie Louvu said it best. When they play at home, they play really well. So they're at home to play this game. It's going to be colder too. But I think that the Commanders, you know, to me, they've got the better defense. You know, I think they've got the better quarterback for sure, but it doesn't mean anything because we know against the Philadelphia Eagles, you can be the best at something, but if you don't come to play, it doesn't mean anything. So this is a huge game for Washington. They've got to jump on the Falcons early, I think, to just put them out of the conversation. But Michael Penix does make them a better team having him. And I thought even during the draft that he was one of the top quarterbacks. And I thought that he should be starting for Atlanta right off the bat versus Kirk Cousins, but he's in there now. So big challenge still for the Commanders to come out to win a game that they must have.
To have that thing at home, I mean, you can't get much better than that. I mean, that stadium was rocking. It has been all year. I mean, just to think that we were sitting in that stadium a year ago and it was like it was a morgue in there. I mean, it was so silent. So this is a real home advantage, and it would be a shame. It would be a shame to play and to do what they did against the Eagles and have a dud against the Atlanta Falcons. You can't have that. I don't think Bobby Wagner is going to let that happen. I don't think anybody, veterans are going to let that happen. But this is it. Donna said, you need this game. right? What they did to Phillies, I think they took home field advantage away from Philadelphia by beating them. Now you need to get your butt in the playoffs because, Atlanta and Tampa Bay, they're still jostling to see who's going to win that division. So it's still tight in there. And the Commanders, we said it. I think we said it when we came back from the bye, that Washington realistically needs to go 3-1 in these 4 games. They realistically need to go 3-1. They have half of it. They have 2 of them down. They need to go 3-1 because Dallas. I mean, although although they were an inspired group, I mean, they're eliminated. They're eliminated.
The last 3 games, though.
They're eliminated, and you do not want to be having to go down to Dallas and waiting to see if you're going to get in. You take care of business now, because if they beat the Falcons, they're in, because that was the team that they would have to jump over or things of that nature. So you got to make sure, and I'm so glad that Penix is in, so now that you can have some film on him, right? You don't want him coming in and you don't have anything on the guy, right? Again, and it also made me think, how bad are the Giants? The Giants are so bad. I mean, so
well, right now they've locked in the first draft pick.
What a landing spot for Penix to come in against the Giants. The Giants are the worst team in the league.
Oh,
so, yeah. So I just feel that it's good that they can get Witt and all them can get some film on them. But you kind of knew that the NFL wanted to see these 2 rookie quarterbacks at some point do damage. Kirk Cousins is nice, but they wanted to. They're trying to make they're trying to make these things for years and years to come. This rookie class, right? How is Bo Nix? You best believe that Denver and Washington are going to be playing soon. You best believe.
And
you best believe New England and the Commanders are going to be playing soon with Drake May. You best believe that they want to see all these rookie quarterbacks, going battling for years and years to come.
All right. Well, great analysis, Lou and Donna. Before we leave, though, let's get some holiday thoughts from the 2 of you. We got a minute or so left. Some holiday thoughts from Lou and Donna.
Well, earlier on during the year, the Commanders went down to the North Pole and they got with Santa early. So Santa already gave them one of their presents as far as beat the Philadelphia Eagles. And Santa has some more surprises for the Commanders in the next 2 weeks. So I'm just going to leave it there. I'm not going to divulge because I went down to the North Pole with them. So Santa told me to be quiet right now.
All right, Lou.
Santa came really early when they got Adam Peters at the beginning of the year. I mean, I don't think people realize that San Francisco was in the Super Bowl last year. They've been eliminated. Washington was 4-12 last year, and now they're knocking on the playoffs. The common denominator, the absence and the presence of Adam Peters. So Santa came really early, dropping that guy in our laps to build this thing. $100 million in cap space next year, 7 draft picks, and Adam Peters at the helm. Santa already came. Santa's already been here.
Yeah, it's definitely holiday season. It's been all year. It's been since there's new leadership in Washington for the Washington Commanders. And thank you guys for joining me again. Great analysis, as I said, and we'll be back next week, right? After this big game.
Absolutely.
Big Atlanta game. So for Lou and Donna and all our Sideline Report team, I'm Marvin Jackson. We'll see you next week on the Sideline. Take care, everybody. Happy holidays.